Hey fellow type 1 diabetics, I wanted to make this video because I just wanted to share with you my diabetes journey, my A1C journey. Hope that this inspires or motivates or gives someone even just a little trickle of hope. My name's Omnia. I was diagnosed with diabetes in about 23 years ago. In October, it'll be 24. So I lived with diabetic for obviously most of my life. I was diagnosed as a child. Starting with my teenage years, I just had a downward spiral. I like completely lost control. I gave up hope, and basically my goal was to just survive. 2021, I was diagnosed with diabetic neuropathy, and then at 23, I was diagnosed with diabetic retinopathy. I was losing my eyesight, and I was just sort of freaking out, and I didn't know what else to do. And I tried really hard to get my A1C under control, because going into this, I was probably sitting at a 15, 13. Those were my A1Cs. I tried really hard. I went down to a 9, then to an 8, and then I sort of just hung around between the 9 and the 8 range. And I sort of made peace with it, and I was like, this is what it is. This is as good as it's gonna get. And that's what I was being told. My doctors were like, okay, try and come down to a 7, but this is, this is basically it for you. You're doing great. I sort of got complacent, and my doctors honestly were trying really hard to help me control my blood sugars. I was even on medications that they give type 2 diabetics to help with insulin resistance. I also do have PCOS, so my hormone levels were also all over the place, and they had me on two diabetes medications, metformin and the Januvia, to try and control that. And I was doing okay, but not too well. I mean, my A1C was like at 8.2. And then I just happened to be scrolling on diabetic Instagram, and I stumbled across Martin's page. And let me tell you, it was a godsend. I never, like, when I saw his page, I was like, what is he doing? Like, what is this guy doing? How does he have A1Cs of 5 point something? And he's type 1. Like, I didn't believe it was possible. So, like, I reached out to him. I messaged him. We've been working together since February 1st. So, a little bit over 2 months. But my God, you guys, it was life-changing. He told me, just like with him, I learned like all these things that I didn't know. Like, and that's like, sort of hard to believe, right? Being diabetic for 23 years, you think you know it all. But things like food and how different foods affect your blood sugars, all that stuff. And I am so, so glad I reached out to him, because it had gotten to the point where I was afraid to go and take walks. People would be like, let's go for a walk. And I'd be like, no, let's take a car. Let's not. I'm lazy. Because like, what was I supposed to tell people? Like, I'm scared to go for a walk. Like, people thought I was crazy. Any sort of spontaneous activity gave me anxiety. Like, if someone was like, oh, let's go do this, and I'd be like, no, I didn't plan for it. Do I have glucose tablets? Do I have this? Do I need insulin? Where's my insulin? I would look at I'd go out to eat and look at a meal and start to panic. But after working with Martin for just like can you believe, like 2 months, a lot of that anxiety started to go away. My confidence started building. I mean, like, if you guys had met me before and now, it was like a world of difference. I'm gonna actually show you my A1Cs. I'll like send a picture or post up a picture so that you could see. But within 2 months, I went from an 8.2 to a 7.4. And yes, 7.4 is not my goal, but it's progress, because that's the lowest A1C I've had in over a decade. Also, I was able to get off the metformin and the Januvia, which is crazy to me. Even my hormones started to regulate without those medications, which was, I never thought it was possible. Like, it was a miracle. I guess what I'm trying to say is, it is possible. You can get better A1Cs. You can get better numbers. Martin was a godsend. If you guys are interested, you should reach out to him. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. He's so patient, and he does it all, right? Like, he's not gonna tell you what your endos tell you, like, you need to do this and you need to do that, but he's also talking from experience. He is type 1 diabetic like us. And like when I saw him, I was like, I could live a normal life. Like, I don't have to always be on the sidelines worried that my diabetes is gonna ruin whatever it is that I'm trying to do. For me, it was especially important. I am a medical student, and I was so scared that, my diabetes would interfere with me, like, working. I'm going into my 3rd year, so I'm going to be in the hospital doing clinicals, and I was like, how am I supposed to be running around trying to see patients while, my own blood sugar is acting up? And it was a huge source of anxiety for me. But that's all resolving. And I think another thing is, with Martin, he really understands the mental challenges that it causes, and that like the effects of it mentally. And those are things that people don't really address. They play a huge role really in control and how you feel and how you manage your diabetes. And it can be such a hindrance that you don't even realize is there, because mentally you've given up, or you think that this is as good as it's gonna get. And that's where I was. I've moved past that. And if you see this video, just know that you can too. And I hope that this video at least inspires or motivates or helps one person. And again, if you really have tried or you need help, you don't have to do it alone. Martin is amazing. He's awesome. I 120% recommend him if you really need help. He's your guy.